In a controversial move by the government of Nigeria, the federal government has allocated 146.14 billion naira as counterpart funding for the Lagos Green Line Metro Rail project, a 68 kilometers railway network that will stretch from the Lekki Free Trade Zone to Marina, connecting key areas of Lagos including Victoria Island, Lekki and Ajah. This funding will be transferred to the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, which will handle the counterpart funding on behalf of the Ministry of Transport for the development of the project. This comes as a surprise as the Ministry of Transport has other railway projects to handle. However, it is shocking to see that the ministry is allocating money to a project that is solely owned and funded by Lagos State government. This allocation is part of the proposed 49.74 trillion naira budget from the 2025 fiscal year and falls under the Ministry of Transport total allocation of 256.73 billion to support its initiatives. This information was obtained from the 2025 copy of the federal government final budget proposal, which outlines plans for extensive infrastructure development. It was noted that in September 2024, the Lagos State government formalized an agreement with the Ministry of Finance Incorporated and China Harbour Engineering Company for the development of the Green Line project. Under this agreement, the Ministry of Finance Incorporated and China Harbour Engineering Corporation will be responsible for overseeing the design, financing and operation of the project, marking a significant step forward in transforming Lagos' public transport system. The 68 kilometers Green Line project, intended to run from Lekki Free Zone to Marina, is a central component of the Lagos Strategic Transport Master Plan, which aims to establish a comprehensive metro rail system with 6 light rail transit lines. The Blue Line, which is currently functional, a 27 kilometers rail line, forms part of Lagos Rail Mass Transit System. Its first phase, covering 13 kilometers from Lagos Marina to Mile 2, was completed in 2023 and began commercial operations in September, transporting around 2 million passengers since its launch. The Red Line, a 37 kilometers rail project, connects Agbado in Ogun State to Oyingbo in Lagos. The first phase, spanning 27 kilometers, features 8 strategically located train stations, including Agbado, Iju, Agege, Ikeja, Oshodi, Mushin, Yaba and Oyingbo. Once fully operational, according to the Lagos State government, the Red Line is projected to run 20 trips daily, carrying approximately 500,000 passengers. Other proposed lines include the 85.7 km Purple Line connecting Redemption Camp to Ojo, the 48 km Orange Line connecting Ikeja CBD to Agbowa, and the Yellow Line. These lines are all part of Lagos State's ambitious plan to address its transportation challenges. Together, these rail lines are designed to offer modern, sustainable and efficient transit solutions, providing reliable alternatives to Lagos' often congested road networks. One thing to note is that the Federal Ministry of Transportation allocated 57% of its 2025 budget to the Lagos Green Line project, a development that has triggered criticism. The allocation made Nigerians question how the ministry will manage other critical transportation projects when such a significant portion of its budget is to be channeled into a single state project. Critics argue that this allocation is yet another example of favoritism towards Lagos State by the current president of Nigeria. The Ministry of Transportation's 2025 budget indicates that 146.14 billion naira out of its total 256.73 billion naira budget has been earmarked for the Lagos Green Line project. Interestingly, the funds for this project will be transferred from the Federal Ministry of Finance Incorporated to the Transportation Ministry, despite the Ministry of Finance Incorporated's original mandate of investing in Nigeria's future. The project represents the first phase of the Lagos Green Line Metro Rail project as earlier stated, with additional phases expected in subsequent budgets. However, Nigerians are alarmed by the financial strain this could place on the Transportation Ministry as Nigeria struggles with poor road infrastructure. Questions have been raised over federal spendings on the Lagos project. Critics are particularly puzzled as to why the Ministry of Transportation budget is being used to provide counterpart funding for a project overseen by the Ministry of Finance Incorporated. Reacting to this, stakeholders say that one glaring example is the plan to transfer 146.14 billion to the Ministry of Finance Incorporated as counterpart funding for the Lagos Green Line Metro Rail Project Phase 1. This raises many questions. The proposed allocation for the metro line within a state is 65% of the capital budget and 57% of the entire budget of the Ministry of Transportation. if this is counterpart funding from a recapitalized Ministry of Finance Incorporated, why is the money coming from the budget of a federal ministry? Why can't Ministry of Finance Incorporated raise its counterpart funding from the market? How was the decision arrived at that this is a project to invest federal money into, and will such a facility be available to other states outside Lagos? There are also other concerns in the Transport Ministry budget. The ministry allocated 1 billion for the procurement of a Land Cruiser, a Toyota Prado, 354-seater CNG buses, and a pickup van. Also, 150 million naira has been earmarked for implementing performance management systems, while 40 million naira will be spent on annual press conferences and 70 million naira on digitization of agreements and instruments. The ministry plans to allocate 1.434 billion naira for office construction and 100 million for the monitoring and evaluation of capital budget implementation across ministries and agencies. Other notable allocations include 100 million for the purchase of sporting equipment and participation in the Federation of Public Service Games, and another 100 million for e-governance initiatives in the ministry's budget division by the sector working team. To be honest, there are more concerns as to why the Ministry of Transportation is funding a project solely owned by the Lagos State government. Lagos Governor emphasized the economic and social impact of the rail project, noting that the impact of these rail lines goes beyond transportation. They are catalysts for economic growth, connecting communities, reducing travel times, and enhancing the quality of life for millions. However, these projects are limited to Lagos State alone. They do not extend beyond Lagos State. Whilst the Lagos State government is celebrating the success of the Blue Line, which has served about 2 million passengers in its first year, critics argue that prioritizing Lagos project at the expense of national transportation needs undermines equitable development. Nigerians are currently wondering how the ministry will generate funds to execute numerous other transportation projects across board in 2025, seeing that some major rail projects are left unattended to, like the Ibadan-Ilorin-Jeba project, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Railway project, and other infrastructural developments that is being handled by the Ministry of Transport across the country. Nigerians currently are shocked by the fact that the allocation will leave the Ministry of Transport with little funds to work in 2025, wondering why the money will be taken from the Ministry of Transport budget when it is a counterpart funding from the Ministry of Finance Incorporated. But one shocking thing to note is that this is not the first time the federal government or any ministry from the federal government will be supporting Lagos State rail projects. The former president of Nigeria had in 2015 approved $2.4 billion for the construction of the Lagos Red Line project. The then Lagos State Commissioner of Transport has said that approving the right of way for the project had been a problem for about 8 years, as the federal government in the previous administration was for dragging. But when the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration came on board, everything went as planned and the project was executed. But at this critical moment, this allocation leaves a lot of people talking and asking questions. Do well to drop your honest comment. Tell us what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you.